This time, I have made the perfect character. The character to end all characters. His name is Rickbert Johnald, and he is easily the fastest moving entity in this entire world. Taking a look, I picked the mist start scenario so that we can get directly into the action from the beginning. Unfortunately, we're on the outskirts of town, so it won't be too difficult to use this as a sort of a kiting field. And Rickbert is very excited to get started. He is going to be a ranged skirmisher character, and he is going to enjoy defeating the zombies by attrition and not directly. But more importantly, why is there just a muffler sitting in this house? No explicit reason for it to be there. One nice thing is that we already have easy access to all this food and water and other resources because we start in a house. And this appears to be one of the really bad houses. Unfortunately, it's not very big or very safe. Taking a look, we are already greeted by a feral hunter who has spotted us immediately. And over there we can see a shocker zombie, so we know where we're not going. Instead we're going to go this way, where we are greeted by a smoker, a grappler, and a brute. So either way we're going to need to run. Oh wow, look at all of this. There's dozens of them, literally. Well, semi-literally. We can only see about 2 dozen, I think, but I'm sure there's more. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start running, and we're going to go this way. Going to skirt along the outside, and as you can see, that feral hunter is closing. My plan now is to cut through this house to cut off the hunter. This hunter is persistent. Now what can we do about it? We have a matchbook. We can light the terrain on fire and hope it just walks into it. I'm going to need to find something else to ignite. But this hunter is very angry, and we have no way of escaping it at our current speed. And our previous attempt failed, apparently. Taking a second look. Its senses are the normal senses to have. That's not something we can do. It says it's mildly dangerous, but I doubt that's the case. This is the most dangerous thing here, and the only thing we can't outrun. The rest of these are simple and easy. Exactly what I didn't want to have happen. As you can see, I'm not sure how to measure its speed, but it's probably 2 or 3 times the normal speed. And as you can see, we're being mauled. And we have no stamina, so we can't escape. I think this attempt is going to be a failure. But don't worry, we're going to start just like this a second time, and hope that there isn't a feral hunter that will end the run unconditionally. I'm sure there could have been something that I could do about it, but if there was, it wasn't obvious. Wow, that was a strange dream. Now for the real attempt. That was just fake. It was a hypothetical scenario. Oh, look at this. Since we have night vision up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles in radius, that zombie cannot detect us, and so we're safe from it as long as we stay out of its way. Unfortunately, it's in the kitchen. Oh, and look who's coming in, a smoker. Going to shut that off and take a look outside. It's seeing us because we're in the light. Not intensely a problem because look at what we can do. There, I'm pretty sure it's completely lost us now. We should take a look outside this window as well. Oh, this is not a direction we want to be going in yet. Yes. You see, there are multiple interdimensional life forms out here. I think they're of the category of demon, and they are annihilating everything. Which normally would be semi-good for us, because that means they're both distracted from me, because they're fighting each other. However, I estimate it's going to take another 20 seconds for these demons to clear out this entire area and turn their attention to me. We can see in a 90-degree angle outside this window, so we have two blind spots here and here of 45 degrees each, adding up to 90 degrees, which means we can see exactly half of what's happening outside right now. Fortunately, it's the most important half, directly in front. We can see there is a crashed helicopter here, or what appears to be. Yeah, that's not currently useful. What else? There is a bicycle that we're not going to be using. We can see from here that both of its wheels are missing, or critically destroyed rather, which might as well be missing. So that's not useful. There also appears to be some, actually a lot of resources lying on the ground from all of the zombies that were annihilated. We're not going to be going that way. Oh, he hasn't even broken through that door yet. So my current plan... Actually, let's take a look outside this window while we have time, which we have plenty of currently. We're not being apprehended by anything faster than us, and we're not out of stamina. As long as those two things are always the case, we will be safe. Yeah, because we have a fast character, of course. Yes, this area looks to have a fully functional bicycle, no damage. Now that could be very useful. I wonder if there's a way I can mark it from here. One thing I could do is just make a map marker and place it here. There's something bright and noticeable. Yes. And so I can come back for that later. Unfortunately, that stopped us from looking through the window, so I think that's a wasted turn. Yeah, there's also a purse here for carrying more objects, a messenger bag for carrying even more objects, a lighter in case we run out of matches. I don't think it's a great idea to go this way, but these fences could be used to cut zombies off if we ever do get apprehended. Is this vehicle functioning? We can see almost all the details about this vehicle other than I think the fuel in the tanks and the charge of the battery, which I think is funny, seeing all of that from here. The wheels would make sense because they're visibly apparent, but the condition of the engine in the engine compartment while the hood is closed, and also the internal of the vehicle, we can see the security system from here, which I don't know how that's possible. That should be shrouded in the dashboard, I assume. Yeah, so we're going to kite this zombie out of there into here, and we're going to just quickly sprint around it and block it off again. And while that's over there, we can rummage through here and take everything. A lawnmower in the cupboards? I wonder how that got there. Yes, and finally, this direction seems to be the safest so far. I see the least zombies, but it also has the most cover. So they could be hiding, but so could I be. This is the best direction out of all of the options we currently have. And taking a closer look, a full 180 degree view, technically slightly more as you can see here. There's only one zombie we can see from here, and it's all the way over there. And this house here already has some good supplies in it. Like this cotton hat. Yes, we can tell that the hat is made of cotton all the way from out here, through the window, and across the lawn. In fact, looking all the way over here, we can see that there is this one aluminum can of dark cola that is frozen. We know that it's frozen through this window, and this one, and this one, and this one, all the way to here. Alright, so what are we seeing? This zombie shouldn't be too much of a problem. One nice thing is that there's a glass door down here, and I'm pretty sure those can't be locked. So that's an easy way in. Immediately into the kitchen. There, we don't have any more carry space. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at that clean escape. That zombie doesn't even know we're gone. And the only thing we can see from here is this squirrel, which we can attack. And also possibly destroy. We missed every time. This broken window down here indicates activity of the zomboidal kind. Fortunately, this door is not locked, so we can just walk right in without a problem. This appears to be a bakery, and it looks safe as well. Nothing here. Having gone through all of this so quickly, I have forgotten a few things that I seem to have neglected completely. First of all, we didn't make a makeshift sling. We didn't even think to. Actually, I didn't even think to. Blaming everything on the audience. See that giant wasp over there? It killed a bone dog, which makes it something useful for us because it's clearing out the area of zombies. But it's also a hazard, so we're going to stay away from it as well. I might even need to go back into this house. Yeah. Fortunately, I can easily just tear this down. And do this without issue. The zombie isn't fast enough to stop us, so that's good. What else can we do in here while we're here? We can make this thing, just in case. Doesn't even take very much time to make. We can wield that. Yeah, not intending to make this a melee character, but just in case. If we can't find the resources to get anything ranged yet. And if we run into anything until then, or before then, carefully looking around here. Yes, look at that. A feral runner. I hope it hasn't heard anything. Yes, perfectly avoided. These crevices between houses are both really useful for staying out of sight and really dangerous for being boxed in. Oh, look at that. Another hazard that's actually useful to us. If we kite zombies into that without getting into that area ourselves, we could use that to completely clear this down. Excellent. Oh, and look at what we have here as well. We have a gallon jug, first of all. Full of alcohol. Now that's useful for morale. Oh, and look at all of these books. Some of them are even very useful. Solder is a nice thing to get early on. Later it becomes a point of concern. Because solder is used in a lot of recipes. These two things add too much encumbrance together? Oh no, they fit on top of each other perfectly fine. Which means that we can have a 6 bash and cut protection and 2 environmental protection on a rise. What that entails exactly I'm not sure, but I know that it's very good. I remember that the boomers can throw slime at you to blind you, and I assume that it protects partially against that, and we're already full again. And we don't need to eat or drink right now. One thing I want to do is find a safe house. I suspect that a good place to do that at is not down here where we started last time, because that would definitely kill us. Around here actually feels pretty safe, but it's in the heart of town, so getting anywhere would be a difficult challenge. Over here looks nice. Down here there is a office tower. I think a place like this right here would be perfect, and just on the edge of town. But also close enough to everything else that it's not too remote either. And since this is such a big town, the chances of us finding things we're looking for is very high. Look at here, an anthill in the middle of town. That's going to be interesting. The zombies and ants are going to be battling around this area here, and so that's going to make it easier for us to get through. But either front is going to be difficult to get through because the zombies and ants are going to cluster around the battlefield. I hope this isn't what I think it is. Yeah, it is. So, there's actually 2 really big hazards right next to each other up here. If this fungal tower is allowed to spread rapidly, it could engulf the entire city. And this anthill already has engulfed part of the city, so this is going to be a very dangerous place to live for any period of time, any extended period of time. So I think we're just going to set up a temporary base to the southwest or to the very west, or possibly to the far south. This place looks pretty calm, quite tame. Yeah, we really need to find a place to drop off all of this off, of course, so that we can bring back more and continue the process until we've hoarded enough resources to feel comfortable. And it appears that the Wasp has cleared out of this area as well. Now you see, there's this bloodstain here, which marks that, I assume, this means that there is a high likelihood that that extends all the way to here. and so we don't want to go that way. Instead, we want to go somewhere like here. Fortunately, that was unlocked again, so we don't even need a makeshift crowbar. What else is in here? Hopefully nothing like a shocker brute, because that would end everything if we couldn't get away in time. The funny thing about shocker brutes is they're so dangerous that if you find one by accident, there's a good chance you're already dead if you can't get away in time. And if you're in a dark place or at nighttime, then the likelihood of you being able to see them before they get to you is reduced even further. Traveling at night is just generally dangerous, because you can run into anything. In fact, 2 times my best characters died at nighttime because they were jumped by something they didn't see. Oh, look at all those turrets. Now that area is not safe. For us, or for anyone actually, fortunately, and not just for us. And another time, my best character died because that's where the Wasp went. Because they set off a trap that they weren't expecting. It looks like there's a lot of Wasps around here, so that's something to be mindful of. Oh, I just noticed, what's this? Paper wall. This is a wasp's nest, I can tell. Yes. Yes, look at all of these wasps and zombies that are all dead. They're very interesting. I never knew that there were wasp nests around here. There, those backpacks are a perfect replacement for this stupid makeshift sling. Oh, look at that. They were so kind to even kill this feral hunter. I think these wasps are going to be our friends, as long as we stay away from them. In fact, I think this might even be a good place to set up the first temporary forward base. Because we're going to be safe from zombies as long as we stay near the wasps. And the only thing we need to do to stay safe from the wasps is to not bother them. So I'm going to smash this mailbox. And from the resources that it just poured out of it, I'm actually going to pick all of these up and bring them somewhere else. I'm going to make makeshift lockpicks in order to get that door open, so that I can get into that house and make it the first forward base. Actually, does this have hammering quality? No, it should. It's practically the same thing as a rock. I know one thing that does have hammering quality. Watch this. These steel pipes. And not only that, I can also, from this, make the makeshift crowbar, which I think is a good replacement for our current item of use. Since we have these 2 backpacks now, we can actually loot all of this. Alright, everything is calm now. Everything is under control. No feral hunters or shocker brutes or skeletal Hulk zombies or anything weird like that. Wait, with this makeshift crowbar we can just pry the door open. We don't even need the lockpicks. The reason I'm not going to try prying any of the windows open is because that has a chance of destroying the window. But I don't think the door has any chance of being destroyed. I really don't like how many windows are in this building though. Look at all of them. Can that thing see us? I think it can, but it doesn't care. So I'm going to let it clear out before I do anything. In that sector, that is. I am going to be working in the other parts of the house. We're going to be so safe with those things as our guard dogs. This part of the house to the east is the most dangerous part now because of the wasps not being around that part as often. However, that also means that this part of the house is easier to get out of because there aren't any wasps blocking it. Eventually I'm probably going to need to board up all but one of these windows and have that window be sort of boxed in by bookcases outside so that light can get in but nothing can see in else. And nothing else can see in. Oh, and look at what we have here. Isn't it nice to get really late game items really early? And look at all this furniture we can make into 2x4s and nails. And we can turn this fridge over here into a brazier. So I think we actually have everything we need right here. We have the toilet with the water, some pots, and a wood and a brazier to purify the water so we can survive off of that for a while. If you look up here, we will see there is this pool here, and that we can get, I think, an infinite supply of water from, so we don't even need the toilet. And it's easily accessible from these windows up here. As far as food goes, these wasps are a great source of sustenance because since they are considered huge creatures and there's so many of them, if we butcher them we can just get loads of meat and fat and sinew and do some things with that. So this is actually a really opportune position. I'm going to mark it right now. Now what's a good color for a main base? The most important considerations. I tend to use light cyan as my this is important color. There, headquarters. And another thing I actually noticed off camera with another character is that you can deconstruct furniture, which yields more resources than just smashing the furniture. Yeah, but it takes more time. And so once I have a screwdriver and a hammer, I can start deconstructing this furniture to efficiently get the resources from them. Getting a hammer, let's see. We need hammering of 2, and currently the only 2 items we can make with that quality are makeshift hammer and stone hammer, which are both, they should both be easy to make with the resources we have nearby, so that's not a problem. And the other one is the screwdriver, which as you can see here is dirt cheap once you get the hammer. And so this is actually the perfect situation that we're in right now. Now we're central in the city, so we can access anything around us quickly and easily. We're protected by these wasps and also fed by them. We have this water over here, an infinite supply, and loads of furniture to disassemble into raw resources. See all the fridges and the tables and chairs and ovens. And the only real hazard right now is the feral hunters and the smokers and things like that. The really bad ones. Everything else is trivialized to us because we can just run away. Because, of course, taking a look, we are 15% faster than normal people on flat ground, and from this we are, I think, 33.33 recurring times faster than anyone else in obstacles. So obstacles to us are like flat ground to normal people. So that would mean that running along this fence and trailing zombies behind you would be more effective than just sprinting across this flat ground with the zombies, because they're slowed much more by this fence than they are by the flat land by comparison, relatively. I think this is the perfect time to cut this off, end on a high note, so that 2 seconds later we don't get killed by a wasp and this becomes a bad episode again.